What's up, guys? It's Chris and we're back talking fish tanks. Today's topic is my Pleco catfish is dying. They keep dying. I don't know what the heck to do. I get this question all the time actually, and I'm really passionate about it and I want to talk about it. Chances are you're taking improper care of your Pleco catfish. It kind of sucks to think about, but I want to get you on the right track so your Plecos stop dying, so let's deep dive into it. So first things first, chances are you didn't know that your Pleco catfish is nocturnal. This means that they come out at nighttime to do most of their feeding and ravaging, and they are scavengers, so they will eat close to anything. A lot of people think that they eat only algae. That is not the case. Plecos need tons of protein. I said your Pleco catfish is nocturnal. Think about this. You do all of your feeding to the other fish during the day. Chances are the catfish is hiding and not coming out during the day. So this means that they're not getting any food. I find that most Plecos actually starve to death on people, and that's the reason they're dying. A lot of people don't do this. So how do we stop this from happening? These fish are nocturnal. We need to get them some food at nighttime when they're actually coming out to do their feeding. So how we're gonna fix this issue is we're gonna put the food designed for the Pleco catfish in your aquarium at nighttime. Right before you're about to go to sleep, drop that food in the aquarium. I know it seems kind of weird, but this ensures the Pleco actually gets some food. So now that we've figured out scheduling is a huge deal when it comes to feeding your Pleco catfish, and this is probably the sole reason why they're dying, is because they're starving to death, that scheduling is huge. The next point I want to make is that these fish need protein. A lot of people think that algae pellets are the only thing that Plecos eat. Wrong. These fish need tons of protein, and a lot of times if you notice a fish is dying in your tank, a Pleco will eat it. Another super common question I get with Plecostomus catfish is, where did my fish go? A lot of times fish disappear, and what happens is in your aquarium, a fish may die, and a Pleco totally consumes the dead fish. It's bizarre, but this should show you how much protein and their ability to just scavenger. These fish want protein. They're super invasive fish. They essentially have zero enemies. This is one of the toughest aquarium fish in the hobby. So to have it die on you, really the only way these things die is by starving to death in water parameters. And chances are, if your other fish are doing fine, that your Pleco, the water's fine, and your Pleco is starving to death. I've done a couple reaction videos to how aggressive Pleco catfish can get to other fish in your tank. It's bizarre. It's almost like these fish are starving to death at times, and what they'll do is they'll try to actually suck on the side of another fish, essentially, especially if it's a slow swimming fish. We see this issue with goldfish all the time because they're starving and they're sucking on the side of that fish. It starts with sucking on the slime coat of the fish, and they're just essentially starving to death. So my next point, I want to talk about foods. There's actually a lot of misconceptions when it comes to foods for your Plecos. Did you know that when you go buy Pleco algae discs that there's actually a lot of protein in those? I know a lot of people don't know that, and this just tells you that manufacturers of the food know that most people buy these algae discs for Plecos, and they know that they need protein. So here's the deal. When feeding your Pleco, plan accordingly. Try to get some protein in their diet. A lot of people will essentially, those algae discs work fine. The generic Hikari, I mean, there's tons of brands that make them, Northfin, whatever. Try to actually feed them some normal sinking, like shrimp pellets, something with some actual protein in it from a meat-based food. All right, guys, so before I finish this up, I want to do a recap on this. The Pleco catfish is probably dying because it's a super misunderstood fish. People don't understand its care and what it needs. This is a nocturnal fish. Chances are you don't even see it a lot during the day. So we need to feed these at nighttime. Right before you go to sleep and the lights have gone off, throw in some algae discs or throw in some protein. The second point was I need some protein in their food because these fish, they do not need just strictly algae. Even though they consume a lot of algae, they need more than that. Get some sinking shrimp pellets. If you can, try to get the food sinking to the bottom because that's where they hang out. They are bottom feeders, bottom dwellers. So hopefully this helps answer your questions on why your pleco catfish are dying, why they keep dying. Thanks, guys, and please subscribe. One more thing before we go, guys. Look at the cat there on the tank. That's hilarious. That's my new kitty, by the way, Whiskey. I'll throw all links in the description box to some of the foods that my plecos really enjoy. I use sinking cichlid foods. I'll use sinking shrimp pellets. Anything that's heavily based with protein, because you want to make sure that they're getting adequate protein. All right, guys, I love you, and I'll see you later.